everybody. Hope everybody's doing really well today. So today I will be coloring in my Camila Angel Kova book, the 101 Unique Mandalas. And the palette for today is actually Margarita themed, which is so exciting because it is my favorite beverage. And as you saw, I chose a very nice palette of like greens, a little bit of a bluish shade, as well as two light ones, like a light gray and a light beigey color. Those are meant to look like the salt around the rim, which is always fabulous, right? And then sometimes the margaritas are not that green, but the green I'm using here for some reason really reminded me of like the outside of a lime, you know, that lovely shade. For any of you that have been interested in making margaritas at home, but you're just not sure how, it's actually super duper easy, and I make them at home all the time. Well, I'm not going to say all the time because that sends the wrong message, but it is a crowd favorite. Mostly margaritas are just freshly squeezed juice, and then obviously tequila, and then salt around the rim. But I usually buy lemons, oranges, and limes. Is it the authentic margarita experience? No, it's not, but it is delicious. I bartended in Boston for about 2 years, and this was a recipe that we used there to make our margs. So you squeeze freshly squeezed lemon, lime, orange juice, and then you add simple syrup, which I make on my own as well, which is just equal parts water and sugar. And then you just mix that all up and you let it stand, and then you just mix it with the tequila. And a little bit of advice, if you are making it in batches, which I would recommend, again, sounds so bad making my margs in batches, but you know, once we can have like barbecues and, you know, friends come over, I would recommend making the batch without the tequila in it, because you can always just add it in later. It's going to make the juices stay fresh longer, but it also allows for people to control the amount of alcohol they want to add to their beverage, because sometimes maybe somebody just wants to have a virgin margarita, which is completely fine, and it's still really, really delicious. With the coloring of the mandala here, I did do a little bit of skipping around just to fast forward it so nobody got really bored. But you can see here that I am applying that beige color that I was referring to. It does dry down to be lighter than that. It's almost barely visible in person on the paper, but I like it. Sometimes you need those kind of, I don't want to say dull colors, but the quote-unquote basic shades just to kind of even everything out. But I really liked this picture and the way it was coming out. I guess it's in a way a monotone green picture, aside from the little beige shade and the gray, but I just think it looks beautiful. Also, I do have to comment on the back of the other mandala that you're seeing here on the left. So that's the bleed through of a mandala that I did, and I think it's beautiful. The bleed through of these pictures is always pristine. And then what you see here in action right now is actually the gel pen. And I do kind of regret doing these large, like spear looking things in the gel pen because it was a little streaky. So I prefer gel pen on smaller regions. As you can see here with those little forky things, that you can definitely see the streaks or like where the pen was coloring. And that's not my favorite. So I think going forward, I'll stick to using the gel pen on smaller areas where you can't tell the streakiness. But I just love these gel pens. I will try to find them on Amazon if I can, but to be honest, it was just like a generic brand that I bought, and some of them are definitely better than others. The neons are definitely my least favorite because they tend to be streaky, and just, I'm not a neon kind of gal. You know, I went through a phase a couple years ago that also included a fake tan, but let's not discuss that today. But while you're watching this and we're talking about my favorite drink, which again is the margarita, what is yours? Is there a recipe that you tend to go for? And again, it doesn't have to be an alcoholic beverage. I love a fojito is what I call it. Again, when I bartended, we couldn't drink behind the bar, obviously. So I used to make myself fojitos all the time, which is just a virgin mojito, which is so delicious. So if you're wondering as to what in the world that is, a mojito is usually a rum-based drink, but I would just make it as a normal mojito, but just not add the rum in. If you're somebody who enjoys quote-unquote cocktails, but you don't want to be drinking, highly recommend making a fojito. And here is the finished product of the mandala. I think it's beautiful. Sorry I forgot to tape the end. I had a margarita.